here in South Texas, your corn crop's alive for about 130, maybe 135 days. In that window, in that calendar window of that crop's life, there are several periods of time that are extremely important to performance on your farm. We're near Tynan, Texas today in western San Pat County. You're on the ground with Rob Seco. I'm Todd Claussen. Those windows, we think the first 20 days is terribly important. You get establishment, you get uniformity, plant to plant to plant uniformity. Get a good start to lend itself to a great finish. Then we have that middle 20 to 22 days, which where we are today in this particular field. And that middle window is from about V12 to VT. What's happening there is we're putting on the final touches of the potential kernels on the ear set of your crop. And then frankly, the last 20 to 25 day window may be the most critical here in South Texas. And I say that because here we are at V16 to V18, and we already have kernel count established. So your kernel count is well established, although it still has to completely pollinate and fertilize that embryo to create a viable kernel. But your potential kernel count is there. So you need to protect that potential kernel count and get as big and large and deep and heavy of individual kernels as you possibly can. That is the period of the last 20 to 25 days of the crop's life. So let's help keep it alive as long as we possibly can. Today we want to talk about fungicide and fungicide-insecticide combinations on your farm. These fungicide products that we will use, particularly the strobilurin chemistries, the preventative chemistries, have a plant health effect. And that plant health effect, how it helps you here in South Texas, is that it can extend the life of your crop. It can keep your crop alive a lot longer. And think about that. If you can keep your corn crop alive for another 6, 7, or 8 days, what's it doing in that last 6 or 7 or 8 days? What's that kernel doing? It's pounding carbohydrate and starch into the endosperm, creating a bigger, deeper, heavier, longer kernel. Fewer kernels make a bushel means greater performance on your farm. So fungicide insecticide combinations in general, and most of the corn belt, we're shooting for a VT application. VT. Well, VT is that last little period where the flag leaf bends away from the tassel, and the tassel then is fully exposed. We are not there yet in this particular farm. So I say I think we are about 3 leaves from tassel. And so we'll take a full look. This is a fully extended leaf, so he doesn't count. Here's 1 leaf, 2 leaves yet to expose, and then the half leaf. So we're 2.5 leaves away from tassel. In this particular weather pattern, we're going to be 92 today, high humidity. This is going to be about 5 days, maybe 6 days. That would be perfect. That would be perfect. But remember, if you miss that application, you could also extend that application a little bit later to extend the effect that this plant health product can have on your crop. So how does it work? Yeah, fungicides are directed at fungal diseases. In this part of the world, arid communities, you don't have a great deal of fungal disease. The value of strobilurin chemistries, which strobilurins are part of every fungicide package that's out here, they have that plant health effect. And how do they affect the plant? Is one, they lower the respiration rate. Respiration is a dark reaction of photosynthesis. Now, I don't want to give you a chemistry lesson, but all day long, what's corn doing? Corn is building sugar. Corn takes water, pulls water out of the soil, up and out the plant, out the bottom of the leaves, out the stomates of the leaves, and exchanges hydrogen and oxygen with the atmosphere, and the atmosphere then provides carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide then sits in the leaf tissue, in the vacuoles beneath the chlorophyll discs. Solar radiation excites those electrons, and it creates a simple carbon sugar. So it accumulates sugar all day long. In the dark reaction, respiration of your crop, it reaches back and it utilizes that sugar. Okay, if we can slow down that chemical reaction, if we can slow down that respiration rate, what happens to the utilization of the sugar that's accumulated all day? It becomes more efficient. So there's more sugar, there's more energy to provide this plant to continue to grow through its last 2.5 leaf stages, elongate and extend the tassel, create the pollen sacs, create the pollen grains themselves, continue to push the ear shoot out the plant. So there's so many things going on And if you can slow that respiration rate, if you can make the energy, make the sugar that it accumulates all day long more efficient, you have a stronger plant, you have a healthier plant, you have a plant that will stay alive longer. That's our goal, that last 20 to 25 days. Keep that crop alive another 6 or 7 days, and you increase the kernel size, the kernel length, the kernel weight. Fewer kernels make a bushel. More bushels on your farm. This application should be applied right at VT to brown silk. That would be the most efficient application of these fungicides, and there are a plethora of fungicides that are out there. Number one, though, for me, fungicides lower the respiration rate. They also can make nitrogen more efficient. Oh, and they will help control leaf disease. Keep your crop alive longer, increasing that kernel size, because your kernel count's already there. Today, on April the 29th, your kernel count is already there. So create a deeper kernel with fungicide, insecticide application. If you need help on your farm, give us a call. You've been on the ground today with Rob Seco. I'm Todd Claussen.